The Biden administration has decided to stop detaining immigrants in a pair of county jails facing federal probes in Georgia and Massachusetts, calling the decision an important first step in a broader review of the nation's sprawling network of immigration jails. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas on Thursday ordered U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement to immediately terminate its contract with the Bristol County Sheriff's Office in Massachusetts and to transfer the few remaining incarcerated migrants elsewhere. He also directed ICE to rescind an agreement with the Sheriff's Office that trained deputies to screen people arrested for crimes to see if they are also eligible for deportation. Mayorkas also directed ICE to, as soon as possible, sever its contracts with the Irwin County Detention Center in rural Georgia, a more complicated endeavor because the facility is county-owned but run by a private contractor. Bristol is holding 7 detainees out of nearly 200 beds. Irwin has 114 detainees out of almost 1,000 beds. Both county jails are also under federal investigation for complaints of abuses against immigrants, allegations that remain open and unresolved. The Bristol County Sheriff's Office came under state and federal investigation a year ago when staff members deployed pepper balls, a stun grenade, and canines against immigrant detainees amid a dispute over coronavirus testing. Irwin is facing federal investigations after a former nurse filed a whistleblower complaint alleging that women held at the facility were subjected to unwanted gynecological procedures, including hysterectomies. The Department of Homeland Security said the moves are part of the Biden administration's broader plan to overhaul the nation's network of more than 200 county jails and detention centers housing civil immigration detainees in deportation proceedings. President Biden has also pledged to end for-profit immigration detention and reverse former President Donald Trump's push to detain as many immigrants as possible. Silky Shah, executive director of Detention Watch Network, an advocacy group, called the closings an important win for the immigrant rights movement. Immigrant lives are in jeopardy anytime they are in ICE custody, and we will continue to press the Biden administration to cut detention contracts, release people from ICE custody, and shut down detention centers for good, she said in a statement. Government watchdog agencies and lawmakers have long documented improper contracting practices and farcical inspections practices in the immigration detention system that is plagued with systemic racism and abuse. Yet as recently as January 2021, the Government Accountability Office reported on ICE's refusal to change in the face of these reports and persistent failure to follow even its own protocols as the system expands. ICE's detention system incentivizes incarceration for maximum profits. Congress gave ICE nearly $3 billion for fiscal year 2021 to maintain more than 200 immigrant detention centers. In this system, private prison companies grossly enrich themselves while local governments pad shrinking budgets. The people trapped in the system, of course, however, suffer severe human rights abuses. ICE's lack of oversight of the system has deadly consequences. Between January 2017 and April 2020, 39 adults died in ICE custody or immediately after being released. The COVID-19 pandemic has further illuminated the deep suffering that results from ICE impunity. The number of people who died in ICE custody in 2020 was more than double the prior year. As the end of February 2021, more than 300 of the 13,890 people still detained by ICE had COVID-19. 2 people had died in detention since President Biden took office. The Detention Watch Network's Communities Not Cages campaign calls on the Biden administration to shut down detention centers immediately and end detention contracts. To learn more about the campaign to shut down immigrant carceral facilities, please visit immigrantjustice.org.
Thank you for listening to this episode